Bro, I watched this movie when it came out when I was like, yeah, dude, the main movie came out when I was 5. It was super memorable too. I have like very, very vivid memories of it. It's really archetypal. It has that characteristic with the visuals where the the aesthetic, like if you're a little kid, even before you're able to speak, you can you can assign your own stories, your own ideas of like, oh, what's going on over here, you know? And it isn't like the kind of, because if you're that young, then you're learning what's normal. So you're like, okay, what is this? And you're open to trying to figure out what that is, and that allows you to like piece together really interesting stories just by itself, even if you don't understand the words they're saying, which I didn't understand. They speak with a British accent, dude. But like even as a kid, like one thing I remember very distinctly, the Turkish delight. Like that's like so super vivid, and it became like inside meme with my family. Like I remember that's also why I think mukbang channels never were never weird to me. Everyone, when mukbang channels popped off, everyone was like, "Yo, this is crazy! Like, why are people even watching this? How do they have so many views? How do they have 20 million views and all this stuff?" Like that makes total sense to me. I thought Turkish delight was a like a made up fantasy food, like a Krabby Patty or like that candy and Jimmy Neutron or like, things like that. I thought it was made up like for the movie. I didn't realize it was a real thing. And then I tried it and it sucked. And then I tried it. My mom brought it from Turkey, and it was actually pretty good. It was okay, but it was a lot better than the original. And I'm like, oh, maybe the first one that I got was like some cheap, like processed garbage, I can appreciate what it is as a treat and as an art form, but because it's gelatinous, it's cursed to forever be a thing that like greedy non-artistic people will try to get into, and they'll try to pierce the industry and go, oh, let me cost cut and cost cut because of the process of making it, and they'll make it very processed and create it in a factory, and the quality of it's just going to go downhill, and people will buy the cheaper versions of it, and it's a cursed dessert in that regard. Why the hell am I going so in depth on this? Okay, I also remember the lion like breathing and all the like unfreezing the statues. I remember like that one building that had a bunch of statues in it, but then also like out in like the field or whatever. Maybe it wasn't. I think it was. I think it was like after the battle, it was like breathing and then unfreezing them. I remember the Ice Queen and her spear. It was such a cool looking spear too. I remember a shot of like the wardrobe being open and you could see like the frozen like winter World 3 looking thing on the inside, and then it's like this like wooden aesthetic on the outside. Those are like the super vivid memories I have of it. Oh, and also for Narnia, I remember that too. I think he had a sword. The visuals of that scene are really blurry. It was like just before the battle. I don't remember exactly like the layout of things, but I remember the audio of it. It's not a scene I could draw from memory, but also I never watched any of the rest of these. I remember when the trailer for this one came out, and like there was that like huge water thing, someone splitting the seas or something like that, and I mean it's very obvious what the inspirations for the original stories are, and even the execution of the movies are clearly based on the same principles. But yeah, like it was actually kind of confusing because you live in your own world, you live in your own bubble. So I'm there like thinking like because I've had so many conversations about Narnia with my parents and my brother and things like that. Like when this was going on, that when this was happening, and the trailer was popping up all over TV, I remember being confused. I'm like, why is nobody talking about this? Like, is this not a popular thing? Because I remember feeling like it was a popular thing. Maybe it isn't, but like, is nobody even gonna like bring up the fact or like mention like, oh yeah, maybe like they fell off. That's why we're not going or whatever. Like, this is such a beloved movie for the family that like it was kind of weird to see like nobody even mentioned like, oh, by the way, a new Narnia movie came out and here's why we're not gonna watch it. It's like it just wasn't even brought up. Yeah, this is weird because like these people don't even have like profile pictures. The main cast doesn't even have profile pictures on their Wikipedia, and then like the side characters is like is Professor X, young Professor X, Liam Neeson, and I believe like the later movies had like a star-studded side cast as well somehow. Dude, she was the girl in Doctor Strange, and he was in X-Men, and the other guy who's like that one actor who was I just saw him in Maze Runner, the guy who like turned to get, he was like in everything, dude. This dude is like a workhorse. That dude was in, I think he was in the latest Spider-Man or something. But like, how all these people ended up in Marvel? Oh, that makes sense. I was thinking it's a coincidence. C.S. Lewis. You know, adapting stuff that Tolkien criticized isn't, it's not a job for the current like modern uh, Disney pictures. Like it's something that should be left to like the artists because they might make some changes, and yeah, the changes might infuriate some people genuinely, but like audiences truly don't actually know the depth of what they want. Like you have to piss them off in some way and make them think they're getting an inferior product sometimes when you actually give them something that's like going to be better for them. Like you have to, you can't have the hyperbolic time chamber aspect of this. Like if it's something that's going to only be seen by kids, okay, fine, whatever. To them, they don't have any concept of time. But if you introduce that concept and actually make it like a family movie, it's like, why ever leave? Why ever leave Narnia? That's pretty much all. But like, the CGI of the lion was literally better than the modern day live action Lion King remake. But yeah, it's a good kids movie, but there's plenty of better ones. It's kind of a waste of time, honestly.
It's Filthy Frank, motherfucker. It's Filthy Frank, bitch. Let's get some pussy tonight.
I just can't do it. I can't take this shit no more, man.